New Charter Homes is a not-for-profit organisation with 19,500 homes across Greater Manchester and Nottingham. We have 850 employees with a £100 million turnover. Back in 2015, we were faced with three major challenges. The first being a new law that was introduced, which meant we were not allowed to raise our rents on our properties. For us, that meant we faced a 15% reduction in revenue by 2019-2020. In order to prepare for this loss in revenue, it was necessary for the company to have a restructure. This meant we had to work smarter to find budget savings while still offering our customers a fantastic customer experience despite the difficult financial climate. Our customer insight and business intelligence team worked together to identify what our customers wanted or needed. What were our customers not satisfied with, and what areas were we lacking performance? And were we having a social impact? Our service improvement and IT team then looked into what we could do to improve this data. First of all, we needed to know what our current processes were. And in order to capture this, we needed a process mapping tool that would enable us to capture every detail of our processes, whilst also being able to report on costings and inefficiencies. By using Triasta, we improved our processes and made better use of our resources. It gave us one central library for all of our process maps, policies and procedures. And it allows our people from across the business to see the bigger picture. We also now have consistency. One thing that was highlighted when we first started to process map is differentiating between what the process should be and how it was actually being done. Most importantly, it drives our process improvement and cost savings. What was also a huge bonus was how easy the system was to use. The service improvement team had only created a handful of maps on an ad hoc basis. We were about to start mapping an entire business with very little experience of doing this. We had a one-day training course provided by Triasta who came up to our head office, and we also purchased the e-learning which helped massively. Before we knew it, we had a library full of detailed process maps. So what did we do? Well, originally, we decided that we would map the top 10 processes that would have the biggest impact on the business. However, what we found when mapping the processes is that this was harder said than done. So many departments interlink with one another, and it was really hard to find that end point. We decided to take a step back and re-evaluate the processes. It is then at this point when we agreed that mapping the entire keys to keys process would be the best way forward. This meant that all stakeholders we worked with had an interest in every step of the process, and with them all being involved, we were able to discuss moving certain processes to different areas of the business. In order to do this, we held stakeholder workshops in order to identify how the current process was being carried out. To ensure that we were mapping what was correct and that the cost we were inputting into our property file was correct, we went out job shadowing with end users to see in real time how the current process was working. We recorded real-time data in our bespoke properties file, including RACE, any systems that we used, bottlenecks. We recorded the effort it taken per resource, including wait time and queue time. We included pay bands in there, frequency, as well as your consumable costs, things like your telephone costs, your paper costs, emails or ink being used. Anything that had a cost implication, we input into this properties file. We were also able to highlight any particular activities we thought could be a risk to the company. By having all of this data ready available meant we could easily cost how much not just a process was costing the business, but how much a particular activity was costing. We could then remove particular activities and rerun the Triasta report and see how much we could save. Once all of our as-is process maps were created, we were then able to analyse each process in great detail and come up with our suggested 2B way of working. We then presented this to our stakeholders and agreed the 2B process. The keys to keys mapping took the service improvement team around 6 months from start to finish. Overall, we created 250 maps purely for the keys to keys process. As you can see in this slide, the maps were so detailed once we had them on the wall, we had basically created our own wallpaper. Having the maps on show also encouraged other users from around the business to be curious as to what we were up to. And when we explained what we had done, they were gobsmacked at the amount of detail we were able to record. We're working continuously to improve our processes, and we do this by ensuring all of our process maps are kept up to date. We created a HDI document, which is the name of our process library, How Do I, which explains the roles and how Triasta works. Now, our process owners are expected to sign this statement to say that they understand their role as a Triasta process owner. And this ensures that the service improvement team are always involved in any changes that are made across the organisation, and that our maps are always kept up to date. Looking at our people, processes and systems through our Triasta system has helped us to identify some of the barriers and bottlenecks of communication to continually improve how we deliver our services. And our results are in. Overall, we saved a massive £350,000 per annum. Triasta played a massive part in these savings, as the software allows us to easily quantify our processes. We will be utilising Triasta to analyse all of New Charter's and Adactus' processes to come up with more improved and streamlined processes across the organisation. We will also be launching Triasta to our customers so that maps can be used as training guides and not just for process improvement.